When the sun goes down tonight, you will likely flip a switch. Light will flood your room and you'll expect 8 continuous hours of rest. If you wake up at 2 in the morning and stare at the ceiling, modern medicine has a diagnosis for you. We call it insomnia, and we treat it as a biological malfunction that needs fixing. But trace your lineage back through 300,000 years of human history, and you find a completely different reality. Every single one of your ancestors spent roughly half their lives navigating 14 hours of unavoidable total darkness. If humans lived in the pitch black for that long, we have to ask what they actually did with all those hours. And looking at the evidence, our modern assumption about how humans are supposed to sleep is entirely wrong. Before we learned to control fire, early humans were incredibly vulnerable. Moving in the dark meant becoming prey to nocturnal predators, equipped with superior night vision, like leopards and hyenas. The campfire created a physical boundary. A burning fire projects a circle of safety roughly 30 feet in diameter, a hard line that predators will not cross. This appended anywhere from 2 to 4 usable waking hours to the end of a standard daylight cycle. Anthropologist Polly Wiesner spent years observing the Kalahari Bushmen to see how they utilized this newly acquired time, capturing interactions from one of the few groups still practicing a traditional hunter-gatherer lifestyle. During the daylight hours, 80% of their conversations focus on practical labor, who is hunting, which plants are ready, and logistical planning. But at night, around the glow of the flames, 81% of the dialogue shifts strictly to storytelling, myths, and social bonding. This protected window allowed human interaction to move beyond the immediate needs of survival, creating a space for the shared imagination of storytelling and myth. As early human storytelling evolved alongside our sleeping habits, historical records reveal another massive anomaly. Historian Roger E. Eckertch uncovered this by digging through centuries of archived texts. He cataloged over 500 distinct references in old diaries, medical texts, and even epic poems, all describing 2 distinct phases, a first sleep and a second sleep. The ancient schedule worked like this. You went to bed shortly after sunset and slept for 4 hours. Then you woke up in the middle of the night for an hour or 2, before going back to sleep for another 4 hours until dawn. Medical manuals and journals from the 16th century advised patients that this waking gap was the optimal time for studying, deep reflection, and even conceiving children. This biphasic pattern remained standard practice for thousands of years. Yet modern scholars routinely mistranslated these ancient texts, erasing the concept from history because it conflicted with their bias toward continuous, unbroken rest. In 1992, psychiatrist Thomas Weir designed an isolation experiment to test our natural resting rhythms. He removed all artificial light from a group of volunteers, placing them in 14 hours of darkness every night. Within weeks, and without any outside prompting, every single participant reverted directly to the ancient biphasic schedule. Blood tests taken during the midnight waking period showed something unexpected. The participants' brains were producing unusually elevated levels of prolactin. Prolactin is the same hormone released during deep meditation or after orgasm. The subjects didn't feel sleep-deprived. They reported being in a uniquely peaceful, reflective state of consciousness. That midnight wakefulness is a dormant, hardwired state of consciousness, a biological artifact of our evolutionary past. During the industrial age, cities began installing gas lamps and streetlights, steadily pushing back the physical boundaries of the dark. The word curfew actually derives from the French phrase for cover fire, a leftover from an era when night was feared and respected. As society modernized, the night became a domain to conquer. The final blow to the ancient night arrived with the commercialization of the electric light bulb. Exposing your retina to artificial light after sunset tricks your brain into interpreting it as daytime. This suppresses melatonin production and shatters the circadian rhythm that evolved over millions of years. Our biology is incredibly responsive to this environment. Researchers have shown that it only takes a single week of camping in nature, away from all artificial light, for our bodies to completely reset this 300,000-year-old programming. By flooding our evenings with artificial light, we effectively erased a physiological phase of human consciousness from the modern experience. The next time you find yourself awake at 2 in the morning, staring into the dark, stop treating it as a biological malfunction. That period of quiet reflection is simply your body executing a deeply ingrained evolutionary program. We traded the natural blanket of stars and the ancient rhythms of midnight conversation for the sterile convenience of a modern light switch. We abandoned a state of consciousness built over thousands of generations in the dark, and most of us never even noticed it was gone.